moving into a new house is supposed to feel like a fresh start. New alls. New memories. A new beginning. But in Appalachia, some houses don't forget had stood there before. Strange sounds in the night, footsteps in empty rooms and encounters that make the homeowners question whether they are ever alone. Tonight, you'll hear 8 true terrifying encounters from the houses in Appalachia, stories so disturbing, they'll make you think twice before unpacking your bags. People who live in Appalachia will tell you the mountains remember everything. Long before roads, towns, and the houses, there are forests so thick sunlight barely touched the ground. And sometimes, when the homes are built on old land, however as there before doesn't live. The first encounter comes from a man named Jacob. Jacob moved into a newly built house in rural East Virginia with his wife and young daughter. The house is beautiful, modern, quiet, surrounded by trees. The realtor told them the land had been empty for decades. No previous homes. No history. The first egg felt normal. Too normal. But on the 8th night, Jacob woke up around 3 am to the sound of footsteps upstairs. That wouldn't have been strange, except the upstairs as unfinished. No furniture. No reason for anyone to be there. The steps are slow. Heavy. Like boats on odd. Jacob held his breath, listening as the footsteps crossed the room, stopped, then began pacing back and forth. When he finally gathered the courage to check, the upstairs as empty. No marks. No dust disturbed. The footsteps came back the next night. And the night after that. Allies at the same time. Allies pacing. Jacob never told his wife at first. But on a morning, she asked him who had been walking upstairs at night. That's when he realized she was hearing it too. The second encounter happened to a woman named Claire in Eastern Kentucky. She moved into a brand new rental house after a messy divorce. Fresh start. Quiet place. The first few days are peaceful until she noticed something wrong with the mirrors. Every morning, the bathroom mirror would be fogged, even when she hadn't showered. At first, she blamed humidity. But then she noticed handprints. Large ones. Too big to be hers. On a night, she woke up thirsty and walked toward the bathroom. Halfway down the hallway, she stopped. Someone was standing in front of the mirror. Tall. Thin. Completely still. Claire screamed and turned on the light. Nothing. But the mirror was fogged again. If a message written across it instructs, this is still home. She moved out the next day. The third encounter comes from a couple named Brian and Melissa. They bought a newly constructed home in Tennessee, built at the edge of the woods. The builder mentioned old settlements once existed nearby but brushed it off as local folklore. The first seen something as wrong came from their dog. Every night, the dog sat at the back door, growling into the darkness. Not barking. Just low, constant growling. On a night, Brian opened the door to see that the dog was reacting to something moved between the trees. Not fast. Not slow. Just deliberate. Tall silhouettes stepping just beyond the tree line. They closed the door and locked it later that night, something knocked on the back wall of the house. Not the door. The wall. 3 slow knocks. They never opened it by the end of the first month. All 3 families felt the same thing, a constant sense of being watched. Appalachia didn't feel empty. It felt occupied. The fourth encounter happened in Virginia, deep in the mountains. A retired teacher named Susan moved into a newly built home meant to be her forever house. Quiet. Secluded. Peaceful. On her first night, she heard singing. Soft. Ordless. Floating through the trees. She stepped onto her porch and listened. The singing stopped the moment she appeared. The next night it returned. Closer. But the third night it was coming from under her house. Susan locked herself in her bedroom and called the police. They searched the property. Found nothing. But when they left, an officer quietly asked her, "Oh, didn't build this over old land, did you?" She sold the house within 6 months. The fifth encounter comes from a contractor named Luke. Luke worked on multiple new homes across Appalachia. He said some cities felt wrong the moment you stepped onto them. On a built city in North Carolina stood all. Tolls old go missing and reappear in strange places. Fresh footprints appeared underneath bare feet even in winter. On a evening, Luke stayed late to finish framing. As the sun set, he heard whispering. Not voices. Whispering his name. Coming from inside the house. He thought that job the next day. The house was finished anyway. Families moved in. They didn't stay long. The sixth encounter happened to a teenage boy named Aaron. His parents bought a new house in rural Ohio, Appalachia. The first night, Aaron heard something scratching beneath his bed. He looked. Nothing. The scratching returned every night, alias at exactly 2, statenbediet am underneath, he recorded it when he played it back, there as something else layered beneath the sound. Breathing. Not his. Slow. Close. Aaron slept on the couch until his parents sold the house. Buno, a pattern begins to form new houses. Old land. And something that doesn't want to be disturbed. The seventh encounter is the most disturbing. A family of 5 moved into a new development in southern Appalachia. Multiple houses. Fresh construction. Safe neighborhood. Or so it seemed. Their youngest child began talking to the people in the house. At first, they thought it was imagination. Until the child described them. Tall. Dark. It faces like shadows. The child said they didn't like the house being there. Then the child stopped talking altogether. The family moved out after the child was found standing outside at night, staring into the woods, whispering, "They're eating." The eighth and final encounter comes from a real estate inspector named Thomas. Thomas inspected new homes across Appalachia for over 10 years. He says some houses are fine. Others aren't. One house in particular still haunts him. During inspection, he heard footsteps following him, alias stopping when he stopped. In the basement, he felt something brush past him. Cold. Intentional. Later, researching the land, Thomas discovered the house as built directly over a forgotten burial ground, unmarked, undocumented. When he returned weeks later, the house was empty. No owners. No listing. No record. Used locked doors. Thomas refuses to work in Appalachia now. People think new houses mean clean starts. But Appalachia doesn't forget. It acts. It remembers. And sometimes when you build over had should have been left alone, the land makes sure you know you're not welcome. If you made it to the end, then you already understand one terrifying truth: some places never forget. In Appalachia, the land remembers every footstep, every secret, and every leaf that once stood there. New houses may rise, fresh paint may cover the walls, but hat as buried beneath doesn't always stay silent. If these true terrifying encounters from new houses in Appalachia send chills down your spine, make sure to hit the like button. It tells me wow and more real stories from places where history and horror collide. And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on notifications.